What is one of the dumbest things you've done when your brain was on autopilot? I work at a busy restaurant, so I end up saying corner hundreds of times a night as I go back and forth around corners and doorways in the kitchen. Was running food to a table, set it down gently, and in my sweetest customer service voice I said corner while looking the customer right in the eye instead of here is your soup or something like I usually do. They looked confused, my brain tried to reset, and so naturally I said thank you, as if that made it better. I ended up just backing away. It was a lost cause. This is a while ago, but I was working at McDonald's and worked in the morning, not a morning person. Still not. My brain wakes up around 10 AM and I think it was like 8 AM. And I handed this lady her large coffee and the sun shined bright in my eyes and all I said was praise the sun and she looked at me all weird and drove off. I told my friend you're welcome after he sneezed and excused himself the other day. Let a coffee machine run without a jug under it. Went to take a shower and had to clean up the mess afterwards. Lifted my welding mask up and forgot it was on my head, then went to get a new mask. Flipped my Kindle over to read the other side of a document. The reverse millennial. Tore open a sugar packet, poured it directly into the trash, tossed the empty paper packet into my coffee. I shook my phone to see how full the battery was. I was a kitchen employee at Arby's when I was 18. We used to have sub rolls that were foot long, but the only subs we sold were 6-inch. So you had to cut each roll in half before you used it. I was just zoned out one day and I ended up cutting the sub roll in half, putting the knife back in the sub roll bag, and then trying to use the sub roll to cut the next sandwich. My manager saw it and ducking died. I was trying to make some scrambled eggs. Basic prep, crack the eggs, put the eggs in a bowl, toss the shell. My dumbass, crack the egg, put egg in the trash. I literally stood above the trash can with the shell in my hands processing what had just happened for about 30 seconds. I just had the faint feeling of I ducked up and was wondering exactly how for way too long. Not me, but one time my GF got handed her drink at Starbucks, said thanks, went over to the bar to get cream or something, and immediately dropped her fresh drink straight into the trash can at the bar. Her mother and I just looked at her and started laughing. The barista saw what happened and with a it happens attitude agreed to replace the drink. It also helped that no one was in there except us, haha. We still bring it up every now and then and all laugh, my GF included. I put my dirty plate in the freezer instead of the dishwasher. Thrown a bowl of cereal on my bed. God blessed me, because even though it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I like to eat it dry. I slathered my face with hair gel this morning. I was working fast food and taking orders both inside and for the drive-thru. I took someone's order inside at the counter and told them to pull forward to the second window. Put a dog biscuit into the washing machine instead of a detergent pod. I realized before turning it on, so I was able to recover it. Drove 17 miles past my interstate exit before I snapped back to reality. Waited at a stop sign for 5 minutes thinking it was a red light. I was not on my phone. I didn't hold anybody else up luckily. I went inside the gas station, paid, then drove off. Twice. Didn't even fill up, just drove away. Edit. Changed satiation to station before the car satiation jokes become too terrible to bear. My brother ordered nachos at a Mexican restaurant, grabbed a chip and proceed to watch himself dip it into his tea. After about 2 dips, he came back into reality, shook his head and went, "What?" My mother is an EMT. After a 24-hour shift she came home and tried to unlock the front door with her car keys button and did that for about 5 minutes. I once drove to work when I was supposed to drop my younger brother off at school. Neither of us seemed to notice until we got to my workplace and I had turned around. He was late. I've gotten in my car on the weekends to go somewhere and gone on autopilot and realize it as I'm pulling into my work's parking lot. I'm like, why the duck did I drive to work? TV remote in the fridge. I pet my laptop thinking it was my dog. Went to the gym, walked right past the desk where you check in and get a locker key, walked into the locker room, stood in front of a locker, and was absolutely puzzled about what to do next. Was holding my phone and ice cream in a cone. Phone rang, answered ice cream. A sticky ear is surprisingly uncomfortable. I use the key fob from my car to lock my refrigerator. Yeah, I don't know either. Put a used fork in the trash can instead of the dishwasher. Reddit. It's a dishwasher, not a washing machine. Seems I was still on autopilot when I wrote this. Continuously jammed my work key into my house door. My work key is a big silver one and my house key is one of those picture ones with a bunny on it. I tried to click my house door open with my car keys on more than one occasion. I poured soda into a bowl. Swiped up on a paper magazine, like it was a screen. Was brushing my teeth, and went to throw something away, but ended up spitting all over the floor instead. Once put toothpaste on my razor and very nearly put it in my mouth before the gears in my brain screeched to a halt and the warning sirens went off. I now keep my razor in the shower, far away from my toothbrush. Had a drink in my hand, and dumped it out, because I checked the time on my watch. My boss did this, but he was drinking coffee and sitting in a chair. He went home to change his pants after that. God, I love smartwatches and the havoc they create. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving home, but instead of going to my current house, I drove to my old house. I haven't lived there in over 5 years. I pulled into the driveway and luckily I realized what I had done before I actually got out of the car. I can just imagine you entering the house while some family, going about their day, looks up at you in absolute confusion. I had a dislocated knee and kicked a soccer ball that was coming towards me. Did it hurt? It caused my knee to go back in place, and then I threw up. Edit. I just wanna say thanks for my first ever gold and silvers. Also, I don't know if it is funnier, but to add context, I'm a 5'3" girl who is extremely uncoordinated, and my first thought was OMG, I actually hit it. And then I threw up. Walked naked in my son's bedroom. I was stepping out of the shower, and his bedroom used to be mine in my childhood. That sounds like a porno, not that I'd no shudders. Put the cereal box in the fridge. I may have also thrown a spoon in the garbage once instead of washing it. Wake up in the middle of the night to take a pee, then just autopiloted into my morning routine. It wasn't until after I drank my coffee that I realized it was only 3 AM and that I wasn't going to be able to go back to sleep. I took a nap after work, woke up at 7 PM, and the sky was about the same color it is in the morning. I went into immediate autopilot and made coffee, packed my lunch, and realized what I'd done when I was halfway downtown. Did the same thing as a high school senior during the winter, only noticed it was 2 AM and not 7 when I started my car. Best part, it was a Saturday anyways. My brother used the washroom before bedtime, and it was my turn to go now. I wanted to brush, and we had newly shifted, so everything was in a mess, and hence I couldn't find the toothpaste. So I asked my bro where he kept it, and when I couldn't find it where he said it was, he came to check himself and handed me the shaving cream. When I pointed it out, he said that's why it tasted odd. I just thought it was from a different brand from around Harretelda. My brother used shaving cream as toothpaste. You eat shaving cream? No, why would I eat it if I don't like the taste? I have a dog with fluffy white hair. Think poodle-ish. I was on the couch petting and talking to my dog for a good while when I see my wife come down the stairs. Trailing behind her was my dog. I had been petting a Costco fuzzy white blanket the whole time. I wish I could say it only happened once. Edit. For those asking for pics of my pup at DENVERTHEDOODLEDOG on Insta update, you can now see my dog and the blanket at DENVERTHEDOODLEDOG on Instagram. Ahahaha, this is hilarious. Can't imagine what it must have looked like to your wife, you being all who's a good boy and kissy facing with a goddamn rug. The amount of times I've gone to the shop to buy something and left without picking up said item is too damn high. The other day I finally remembered to buy more toilet roll from the shop round the corner. But just as I got to my door on the way home realized I'd left the ducking toilet roll I'd paid for on the counter and left empty-handed. I once realized I forgot to buy something from the grocery store, left my bag full of already paid for stuff with one of the cashiers having of course first asked if it was okay and explaining the situation, went and got the thing, paid for it, and went back home. Didn't realize what I'd done until 2 days later when I was looking for the shopping bag I used and couldn't find it anywhere. Never got any of my stuff back, including the shopping bag. Apparently it was the most important thing to me out of all the stuff I had bought. Overshot an exit that I've used hundreds of times, didn't notice and ended up driving another 50 miles before realizing that I was way out of the city's boundaries. Still don't remember any of the in-between, just starting to drive and then realizing I had no idea where I was. Dang, we love mindless driving lol. Thank God driving skills are part of the autopilot experience.